Hello, my friends. Happy Tuesday. It is what is today? Tuesday the 16th, right? Yeah, I think so. And this is my last, well, I don't think it's going to be my last live of 2025. I think I will be back next week, before the holiday, probably, with some updates or what have you. I don't know what I'll be up to, but we'll definitely be live probably next week. But I'm coming to you early with my virtual card class. So typically the last Tuesday of the month I do virtual card class, but we've got other fun things in store for the last week of the month this year. So I'm going to be doing Website Wonderland the last week of December. It's like the last end of December and the beginning of January. It'll be via email, a lot of it, I think. So make sure you're on my email list. I'm going to be launching my brand new website, and there's an exciting announcement that's attached to that. So be sure to be on my email list so you can be part of that whole week. We'll have my craft room reveal video. So I'm finally going to do it, whether it's messy or not. So that's going to happen. And then we'll have my new website reveal. We'll have a little more information about some other new things. So definitely stay tuned. But today we're going to do card class because I will be busy doing Website Wonderland week, the last week of December. So we're going to do our card class today. And I actually held it in person early this month too because of Christmas. So we're going to do the cards today. As always, if you place an order in my online store, the link is below, you can earn these card kits for free. And I have a little surprise for, and I have to try and find all of them, but I have little scratchy tickets for a little thank you in this month's little packages there. So it might be something for free, it might be free shipping, it might be a discount, it might be whatever. But those are going to be included in the card kits this month too. So you'll get one of those as well. I just have to find, I have a whole bunch of them. I don't know what I put with them, so, or where I put them, but we'll find them and I will include them in the packages. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and turn this around and we will do some stamping. So my class cards yesterday were not Christmas because they were, you know, it's kind of late to be doing Christmas cards in person. So we did all occasion cards. So let me get started. And I meant to look because some of these cards were actually inspired by somebody else. So, and I forgot to look who was my inspiration for a couple of them. But please know that if they are yours, you can feel free to comment below. Some of them I kind of started with an inspiration point and then sort of made them my own, so they might not look like yours, but I know one of them is exactly like the person who designed it, so I'll have to give credit to that one when I figure that out, but I don't remember off the top of my head. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do a really pretty, super simple card featuring the pretty florals, and I used a sentiment from here. It's also got Secrecy and Pretty and Pink as the colors. So first off, hi Liz, we're gonna use we're gonna use these and this from here, and then the sentiment I just did celebrate. So you could use it as birthday or congratulations or graduation or any number of things. New job, all sorts of stuff. All right, so I'm going to pick up all of these with my blocks, and then we'll get started. So we have Secret Sea as our base, and I did put in a piece of white for the inside. So we'll just start with the easy part. I'm going to put this right inside, and that will be the beginning. Okay, and then this one just gets taped down. This card is really super simple. It's very minimal. It really focuses on a little bit of glitz and glamour, which we like. I think the sparkle for this adds a lot. So let's go ahead and stamp this. I started with the leaves here, And I'm just using Secret Sea, which I know sometimes people are like, well, that's not like an authentic color for leaves, but I like a good coordinated card. So I'm going to use the Secret Sea for that. And then while I have that out, I'm also going to do the sentiment down the bottom. So I'm going to pull this towards me a little bit. Hopefully you'll still be able to see it, but I want to try and get it straight. Celebrate. Okay, and then we're going to stamp the flowers. So I like to do the solid one first. So we will go ahead and stamp that. I'm just going to ink it up with Pretty in Pink ink. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it off. And then I'm going to stamp on top of the leaves, like that. And then before I put the pink away, I'm going to grab the detail stamp. So this is called a two-step stamp. So you do 2 steps to get like a more detailed, realistic look. I'm going to go right over the top without stamping off. And that gives you that two-tone look, which makes it look a little bit more realistic. So there's that. And then I'm going to tape this to the glitter paper. I am using Stampin' Seal Plus because that's a sturdier ink, and you want something that's going to hold that paper to that glitter paper. Sometimes glitter paper can be a little tricky. See how it comes off so easily? It will stick better once it's kind of dried on there. You could also use liquid glue. Liquid glue is really good for that too. I probably could have put my image up a little bit, but it's fine. And then I'm going to grab dimensionals to put this onto the card base, because again, the card base is textured, so you want a nice strong adhesive to hold that in place so it doesn't fall off. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, attach that in the middle. Okay, and then I just used some of the, what are these? The iridescent pearls for the centers of the flowers. So I'll take the large one, we'll put that there. And then we'll use a couple of the smaller ones here and here. Okay, and that is card number 1. All right, so we'll set that to the side, and we'll set these to the side. And I can put this back here. All right, so next up, we have, all right, this next card features the new Creative Haven suite, which is really fun. Let me see if I do. Oh, nope, I don't. That's the banners, so I'm using those for my sentiments. But let's see. Yeah, this is the bundle. I actually really didn't use the bundle at all, other than the sprigs and the paper that goes with it. So let's go ahead and put this together. This is the paper that has like gardening, sewing, like face mask stuff. So all sorts of like little hobby kind of things. So I'm going to take this white panel, and I'm going to start by adhering these little pieces of paper to that panel. I'm going to start with the bottom one and the top one. Oh, it looks like I'm a little off on my measurements here, but that's all right. We'll just trim it down a little bit. And then the top one's going to be the pink. And I'll do pink. Oh, that one's a little off too. Huh. Well, what are you going to do? All right, I will just trim down that panel. And we're just going to put this guy in the middle, this is part of the, these are all papers from that suite. And then we'll do this one, which I embossed with the Damask embossing folder. White on white here. Like that. And then I'll grab my paper trimmer. And I'm just going to trim off that little bit so that the paper goes right to the edge. It'll make that panel a little bit shorter, but that's totally fine. Get rid of these. And then I have some twine. You could use crumb cake twine. I'm using the early espresso. So we're gonna just wrap this. And then do a little knot. Actually, we're going to do a bow, but I'm going to tie it on this side, but I'm actually going to move it because we want it a little further over. But because I didn't tape my twine down, I can tie it wherever so that I have more string to work with. And floof it, get it the way I want it to look. Trim it down a little bit. And then we'll just take the whole thing and kind of slide it over because I want it kind of over there. Okay. And then this panel is going to go right onto the card base. And typically I would use dimensionals for this, but because I'm popping up much of the layers on top, I don't want to add any more bulk. So I'm just going to use a little extra adhesive and then tape that down. Whoops. Hold on. I forgot that it's a little shorter, so the border is a little wider on the sides. So let me get this off here, and we're going to just slide it over a little bit so it's a little more centered. There we go. And I could have taken a little off the top and bottom too, but I didn't, and it's still fine. There we go. So there's that. And then for this, I just put a little bit of adhesive in the back here and sort of added these leaves to the back, and then we're going to pop this up. So we'll just take a couple of dimensionals here, and we'll add these here like that. So see, this layer is kind of popped up, so I didn't want to add more bulk. And then the last part of this will just be to do our sentiment. And I used the new 3 banners punch. It actually punches this one, and nope. And what's the other one? There's 3, and this one. So it punches 3 at once, which is fantastic. And then of course it coordinates with this banner saying. So you have a bunch of sayings you can put on those banners. But I love this one. I think it's a really great banner, especially for those of us that like a good banner end, but don't really like making the banners. That will be a perfect addition to your craft space. So I'm gonna just go ahead and stamp happy birthday. Hopefully it's straight. It's a little high. Let me try doing it again. I'm going to pull it a little closer to me so I can see. There we go. All right. Then I'm just going to add a little of regular adhesive for this so we don't pop it up anymore. And I'm just going to, actually, this is a little too close. So we'll just have to layer it over the bow. Which actually, that's what I did on the original. So that's what I'm supposed to do. There we go. And then that, oh, minus one thing. And we're going to add the bling. So let's do some of these. These are the low profile dots. So I'm going to grab a couple of those. And this is a great little stocking stuffer. I do have a couple that are new in package. If anybody needs one and is close by, let me know. It's a great little stocking stuffer. All right, there's card number 2 for our virtual card class. We're cruising right along. All right, so let me grab the next card. All right. Grab this one's going to use the layered dots, and this is the one that I actually copied exactly from somebody online, and I need to get their name. I'll put it in the description because I like to give credit where credit is due. And I needed a really quick and simple card yesterday, and this one really fit the bill. So it's another birthday card because I'm figuring, you know, at the beginning of the year we might need some birthday cards, but this one is also a gift card holder. So if you need a gift card, this would be a great one, and it's super easy. All right, so we're gonna take the Real Red cardstock, and I already scored it at 5.5 and 1.25 inches. And so this part's going to get folded over into the inside here. So we're going to fold that over. And then I'm going to use my liquid glue because I just want a really, really thin line here. Whoops. You don't want too much because it'll gush out the sides. I want a thin line so that it will be able to fit the gift card in there afterwards. So do that. Okay, and we'll make sure that's good and sealed. While that's setting up, we'll take this piece, which is for the inside, and we'll attach that here. Again, this was not my design. I will credit where I found it in the description because she saved me. All right, so there's that part. And then we're just going to use the paper here for, this is the Traditions of Christmas paper. If you wanted it to be a Christmas gift card, you could totally use that side. I'm going to use the non-Christmassy paper for right now. And if you didn't want a gift card holder, you could just cut that part off, right? I actually probably don't need any more gift card holders because I got quite a few already in my stash. So I might make up some of the leftovers from those that aren't used in card kits to make up some more Christmas cards. But again, if you place an order in my online store before Sunday the 21st, you will get these 4 card kits shipped to you in the mail. So you can recreate them at home using product you have on hand. So now I'm just going to use that Layered Thoughts stamp in my Real Red ink, and I'm going to use the Happy Birthday, making sure it gets nice and inked here. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp that here. There's the Happy Birthday. That actually works nicely with a little cushion underneath. I lucked out and it worked fine for that, but you may want to use like a stamping mat or something underneath. Even a catalog works in a pinch. So as I said, we've got a lot going on. So the end of this month, I'm going to be doing the Website Wonderland Week, which will be launching my new website and some fun new stuff. And then starting in the following week, in the first full week of January, I'll be doing some new catalog videos. I just got a box of new goodies. So we have a new catalog and online exclusives that launch in January. So I'll have all sorts of fun new things to share with you. So stay tuned. I am taking a little bit of a break, like next week-ish. I might not be online actually. I said I would be, but I might not be. Next week is kind of like my family week, getting ready for the holiday and stuff. I might jump on if I'm free, but I'll post then so that I'll give you an update. But it's kind of like my break week. There you go. So now you can put your little gift card in here. You could add a little strip of paper there if you wanted to kind of offset that a little bit. That might be cute. And then super simple, easy gift card holder. And again, I will put the person who designed that in the description because it was not mine, but I loved it and I copied it. All right, last but not least, these are super easy, super fast cards, which I like for card class. Last one is, and this is actually one that I did in person at a crop like months and months ago, but I never did in person here because it was before I was doing in-person classes. So I pulled it out and we're going to do it because it is still current. So let me get the blocks. Sorry, I dismantled all of this. It's using the Trusty Tools bundle. So I will need my little Stampin' Cut Emboss. So let's go ahead and grab the parts that I need. I need this guy, I need this guy, and I need that guy. So we'll put the wrench on here. We'll put this on here. Oops. Nope, we're going to put that on here. Like that. And then this like that. Alright, so first off, let's take all the bits out. This is a good masculine card. Although we had the discussion yesterday, it does not have to be for boys. Girls can use toys too, or tools too, right? All right. I say toys because these are the kinds of toys my husband likes. I like stamps and those kind of toys. He likes tools. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the patterned papers. These are the Timeless Plaid patterns, which I think is still available. It's a really great set of plaid papers because it has not only good masculine plaids like these, but it also has some pinks and corals and things like that. So that works for anybody. All right, so then that's going to get layered onto here. I'm going to go ahead and like attach all this part here. I'm going to put some good adhesive, but just make sure it's on that one side. And just a tip, so when you're creating these cards, this is actually just the other half of the front of the card. So it's really resourceful when you're making these fun fold cards. I just tape that there, and then we'll use my snips. I don't know where my snips are, but I'll use these because they're handy. We're just going to snip in the middle, and then corner to center, and corner to center, and then again for here. And that just gives you that banner end. Okay, and we'll tape that down. This is actually from the Charming Day. It's the Mossy Meadow. I ran out of Mossy Meadow cardstock and needed to prep some more kits, so I just used the back side of that pattern paper, which works great. And then next up, we're just going to take this piece of Daffodil Delight on top. I did kind of slightly slant these, very slightly. So we'll do that. Add this to the layer. This one has lots of layers, but it's kind of fun. It looks like I'm missing a white piece, so let me steal one from here. And we're going to stamp the wrench. You guys, we're cruising. We've got almost 4 cards done in like 25 minutes. All right, so then I'm going to just stamp 3 of these. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And whoops, the dog's in here with me, and apparently somebody's outside. So I apologize for the barking. I don't think she's going to get super barky. Hopefully not. All right, so now we're going to ink up this little wrench, and we'll stamp off and go over the bottom here. I didn't want it full strength because it seemed to be out of tone with the other stuff, but the stamped off real red worked perfect. So there's that. And then I'm just going to use my Stampin' Blends to color in the tops of the wrenches. And I am going to do a little bit of shading, but not too much. But I'm just going to color the whole thing with the light. And then I'll go back and add a little bit of dark. And then, oops, one more. I have a little assistant downstairs. She's finished with all her finals, her midterms. So my stepdaughter has been helping me wrap, which has been phenomenal. So kind of knocking things off my list without actually having to do all the things. Delegation is great, right? So I'm just going to add a little bit of darkness here. Just kind of following what's on the stamp itself. It's got like kind of those little lines that kind of indicate shading. And I kind of missed a little bit here, and I'm wondering if I use my light real red. Is that it? Yeah. I wonder if that will, let me just see. It might kind of fill in that hole. Yeah, because I didn't stamp great on that. This is why it's good to have a light and a dark, because then when I stamp off, I can fix it with my light version. There we go. All right, so now we're just gonna die cut those out. So I'm gonna grab my mini, and I have somewhere, oh, here, I have my mini plates, and we're gonna just die cut those. This was like the longest part of yesterday's class, right? So I actually did a lot of it for them. So we'll just stick that on here and then carefully put the other plate on top and roll that through. There's once, and we'll go back the other way and do twice. 3 times a lady. Isn't that a song? I am not a singer, as you can tell. But I feel like that's a song. Alright, and then I want to, is it Kenny Rogers? I don't even know. That would be pretty miraculous if I just got that right, because I am not good at knowing who sings what. Alright, and then we'll do 3. So now we have our 3 wrenches. I can move this out of the way. And then, oh my gosh, you guys, I need a major clean of my room. It is a disaster area. It's driving me crazy. And of course I need to clean it in order to do the craft room reveal. But first up is I gotta finish my book for book club tonight. And then Christmas cards. And then I can work on cleaning and whatnot. Alright, so now I have my 3 little wrenches. So we're gonna just put these on here. Kind of I want to say crisscross, but it's not crisscross, it's opposite, right? So we're just going to use regular adhesive, tack these down. Yeah, we had somebody come to the door this morning, just giving us information. He's like a tree cutting service or whatever, and so he wanted to like say hi and say, you know, he's in the neighborhood and he was doing some tree cutting, if we could do it, you know, he'd be willing to cut some trees down or whatever. And I purposefully, because we have like a little breezeway area, so there's 2 doors to come into the house, and I purposely let Shelby out into the breezeway just to kind of scare him a little. Not that she was gonna do anything, but he was like, oh, she makes me nervous. I'm like, well, that's kind of the point. I am missing another piece of paper here too. Let me steal from the other one. So then, now we've got our little wrenches. The last thing for us to do is to stamp in Night of Navy. Sorry, Liz. It's in my head too now, so I'm impressed with my abilities to remember who it is, but I think that's correct. All right, let's go ahead and stamp the sentiment. We have to like listen to something else so we get it out of our head, because that is my problem. I always get those earworms stuck in my head, and I typically only know like one line, so it just repeats over and over again, and that's frustrating. So, all right, I'm gonna just cut these on a little angle as well, a little bit deeper angle on that one, and then this I'm gonna put on with some dimensionals. So we'll just add a few of these, kind of give it a little lift, like so. And then we'll put that right across the middle here. You are the most awesome, right? Perfect. And then we'll grab some bling. So I've got a couple of different colors of bling here. I think I'm going to use the darker ones, or you could actually, maybe I'll use the silver ones because they go with the gray. That kind of looks nice. So let me grab a couple of these, like that, and then one over here, and there you have it. There is the fourth and final card. Super simple card class yesterday. Like I said, this was the one that took the longest just because it had the die cutting. So here we go. What do we think? Which one do we like most? Let me grab the last one here. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And super easy. Like I said, if you place an order in the online store, you'll automatically qualify for these between now and Sunday. I'm also going to throw in one of my little scratchy tickets once I find them. That'll have a little extra bonus for you as just a little appreciation as we close out the year. And then be sure to jump on my email list so you can join me for Website Wonderland Week and then the new launch of the new product in January. We got lots of fun stuff happening. So I'm excited to share lots of fun things. I hope you guys have a great week next week. Like I said, I think I changed my mind like in the middle of the process. I don't think I will be live next week. I think I'm going to kind of take next week to be with family and friends and getting ready for the big day. And then I'll be back the following week with Website Wonderland Week, and I'll have lots to share with you. So be sure to jump on my email list. I'll add that link into the description of this video as well, and that way you can join us for that fun week of craft room reveal. I've got another big exciting announcement as well, so stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching today, and if you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Have a great holiday, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.